everyone. Thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Neeti Saxena and I am taking the subject Principles and Practices of Management. This particular video would be covering the topic decision making. The video would be covering two major things, that is the steps and limits to rational decision making and how group decisions and group decision making techniques can improve decision making. So one by one we will pick up the topics. First of all, this is a flowchart which tells you that what are the steps to rational decision making. Why do we use the word rational? Because when it comes to taking a decision, you can of course make any decision right or wrong. But of course, when you are taking a decision, it should be rational. Rational as in logical, keeping everything in mind, whatever the solutions, alternative solutions are, whatever the pros and cons could be of a particular situation. So keeping all those things in mind, a rational decision should be taken. The step to rational decision making is first of all defining the problem, identifying decision criteria, weight the criteria, generate alternate course of action, evaluate each alternative, and compute the optimal decision. So, starting from the first step, which is defining the problem. See, when there is a problem in front of you, you need to define what the problem is actually all about. For example, let's say if you are thinking of choosing a particular college for yourself to do MBA, so the problem that remains in front of you is choosing the college. So you will keep all those, you will define the problem. I have to choose a college for MBA, so that will be the problem. Second is after defining the problem in detail, the next step is identifying the decision criteria, as in you will identify that what are those criteria that you would keep in mind while taking a decision. As I gave you the example of choosing a college for your MBA, when you choose a college you will keep in mind what all are those criteria on the basis of which you would be choosing a college. Maybe faculty, then second could be the infrastructure, placement, fee structure, comfort zone. Maybe is it close to your home or is it not close to your home? So these are the different parameters on the basis of which you would be identifying or you would be taking a decision. So when you have identified these criteria, the next is weighing the criteria. As I said that there can be five different criteria on the basis of which you're choosing a college, like faculty, placement, infrastructure, fee structure, and many more. Out of these four, which is the most important for you? Maybe let's say if placement is more important for you. Second is maybe the ranking of the college. Third could be the faculty. Fourth could be the infrastructure. So you will weight these criteria that you know most important for you is your placement. So maybe you will give a weightage of like 50% of the weightage of your decision goes to the placement. Another 30% maybe goes to the other. Maybe 10% goes to the other. 5% goes to the other. So you will give the weightage to every criteria. Once you have given weightage to the criteria, you will come up with generating an alternative course of action. That means you will find out all those possible alternatives on the basis of which. So once you have given the weightage to the criteria, you will generate all those possible solutions that come to your mind. Once the solutions are generated, maybe you find out five different solutions, you will pick up one particular solution and that will be your decision. That is evaluating each alternative. Once you have developed all the alternatives, you will evaluate all these possible solutions and then you will come up to making an optimal decision, which is the rational decision. This is the same thing which I have already explained to you. First is defining the problem. Defining the problem is from your existing state you want to go to the desired state. That is the problem which you define. Once you've done this, the second is identifying decision criteria, the standards used to guide judgments and decisions. As I told you that there are different decision criteria, as I mentioned in the college example, like your faculty placement and everything. Third is weighing the criteria, absolute comparisons and relative comparison. This is something that I would like to explain you. Absolute comparison is like in this particular chart you can see that there are nine different criterias on the basis of which you can decide your you can give weightage to these nine criterias. Now every criteria you can see is rated on a Likert scale, on a scale of 1 2 3 4 5. So maybe like predicted reliability you've given weightage of 5, owner satisfaction you've given a weightage of 2. Similarly, if we take the example that I had quoted you of the college wherein you have to choose an MBA college, then you give the criterias would be faculty, placement, fees, infrastructure. So every criteria you give different weight. This is called as absolute weight. Another way of giving weightage is relative comparison. In relative comparison, you compare every criteria with the other criteria. If you can see in this chart, daily commute is L, then you have SSQ, IP, SR, QS, NBH. Now L is compared to SSQ, IP, SR, QH, NBH. Similarly, SSQ is again compared with L, IP, SR, QS, NBH, and you give a rating of minus plus one plus one. For example, if we talk about in-ground pool is compared to L, if this in-ground pool is compared to L, then plus one stands, then uh, the L has a weightage on IP. So this is how you compare every parameter and you give a weightage to this. So what were we studying? Third point, which is weighing the criteria. So far what we've done is defining the problem, identifying decision criteria, and weighing the criteria. Once this is done, then you will generate alternative course of action, which is after identifying and weighing the criteria that will guide the decision making process, the next step is to identify possible course of action that could solve the problem. The idea is to generate as many alternatives as possible. So, this particular step is related to generating solutions. As many as solutions that you can think of, you need to generate that. After that, the next step is to systematically evaluate each alternative against each criteria. And then the key is to use information to systematically evaluate each alternative against each criteria. So what exactly you are doing is, all those solutions that you've thought of, you will keep in mind the criteria and the weightage that you've given to every criteria, and you will try to evaluate the solutions. Once you have evaluated the alternative, you will be able to find out that which alternative is the best suitable for you. The best suitable alternative will be your solution to your problem, and that is how you can make a rational decision. What is the advantages of group decision making? See, what happens is that in an organization, you can make a decision individually, you can take a decision in a team. If you take a decision in a team, the positive things is that lot of people would be putting in their brain, so you will be able to define the problem in a better way. Why? Because everyone would be putting in their views, so you have 10 different views to each problem. Similarly, generating alternative solutions, you will have more possible solutions to the problem, because so many people are sitting together. So instead of you just sitting alone and finding out a solution, you will be able to find many different solutions. So that is the advantages of group decision making. Thank you so much for watching this particular video. I hope you've understood what is decision making. Thank you so much.